Hey, how are my juniors doing? This is Mr. Merck. I'm going to do the best I can to make some videos for you guys while we're out of touch for a period of time. So what I need you to do is find this packet that either you picked up at school or hopefully you printed out. It says 11th grade practice and review, and we'll talk about what my expectations are while we're in coronavirus quarantine here, social distancing. So the purpose of this activity was basically a DBQ. We actually do this every year, so don't think that we wouldn't have done this if we weren't in school. This is one of the DBQs that we do use as practice. You will have to write a DBQ on the readings exam. We still do that. But going down this first sheet here, it also gives you some links. This link right here is to readings exams. There's probably 30 or 40 of them, and the answer keys too. That is good practice to do on your own. Some review videos, Hugh's history. I'm not sure if you did that with Mr. Christie or not, is on that link right there. And then John Green's history review. I like John Green's better because it's about 10-minute clips, and you can pick and choose different parts of history. Now, if you do a video or do several videos, you can also write an extra credit brief summary review of the video. You don't have to. You can just watch the videos and not write any reviews, and you won't get any extra credit. But if you're looking for extra credit, something to pad your grade, you can do that. And if you do it on Google Chrome, just share it with me, and I could give you immediate feedback right away. So right now, get out your packets. What I want to do is I'm going to do about 3 or 4 videos to walk you through the actual documents, and then we'll talk about writing the essay. But as far as strategies go for taking the readings exam, even before I do the documents, I read the question so I understand what I'm looking for. So historical context will always put you in place of what time period they're talking about. During the late 1800s and early 1900s, progressive reformers worked to improve American society. Their goals included protecting consumers, regulating child labor, improving working conditions, and expanding democracy. This is all stuff we actually just finished up in class. Using the information from the documents, that's the easy part. The hard part, and where a lot of students mess up, is the second part, and that is and your knowledge. Not or, but you have to do and your knowledge of United States history in your answer. A lot of our students here at Madison will write about the documents and nothing more. You got to write about something more than those documents. So make sure you keep that in mind. So choose 3 goals mentioned in historical context, and for each, discuss. So you're choosing 3 goals. And for each one, you're going to discuss the conditions that led progressive reformers to address that goal and discuss the extent to which the goal was achieved. So 3 goals, and you're going to discuss conditions, not condition. So several different things, and then how did they fix the problem is what we're looking at. So document 1, I'm not going to read the whole quote for you, but it is from the book The Jungle. Remember, The Jungle was about the meatpacking industry, written by Upton Sinclair. Based on the document, state 2 effects of the poor working conditions in this factory. So if you go through this, you will understand and see numerous different examples. You could say workers could get tuberculosis, workers could had to carry heavy animals all day, they got worn out, acid could eat workers' fingers one by one, which seems kind of scary. Some workers had no use of their thumbs. Knuckles became swollen, pulling from their hides. All those different things were challenges, effects of these poor working conditions. You were to pick 2 of them, 2 effects. Now you go on to document number 2. And this document, always look at the source. Like I said, I'm not going to read these whole things. It would take us forever. But this is James Davison, McLeod, Mark Lytle. After the fact, historical detention. According to this document, what action did President Theodore Roosevelt take to keep his promise to Upton Sinclair? Now, we talked about this in class. He passed a law, if you remember, it was called the Meat Inspection Act. So he asked members of Congress to pass consumer protection. He signed the Meat Inspection Act into law. He cleaned up the meat industry. You can mention any of those things and get full credit. Remember, the objective behind this part of the test is to get full credit for each one. You don't want to lose any of these points because they really play a major role in how well you perform on this test and whether or not you meet the grade. So on to document 3A. Once again, this is Jane Addams. Do you remember Jane Addams started the Whole House, the Settlement House movement, which were these community centers in the cities in which they offered services to the poor and especially immigrants who struggled when they first came here, adopting to the American customs, speaking the American language. So based on this document, identify one social problem Jane Addams wanted to reform. And you read through this document and you'll see she does focus on child labor and the lack of safety guards on machines, injuries to children, number of hours children could work, sweatshop work performed by children, women doing sweatshop work, the use of sweatshops. Any of those you could have mentioned. Hopefully one of those is what you put down and gives you full credit there. And you know what? We're going to let's do one more. Then we'll do this in 2 videos. So I think there's a 3B, right? Yeah, 3B here. First factory law of Illinois factories and workshops. This comes from laws of the state of Illinois, 38th General Assembly, 1893. Based on the document, or this document, state one provision of the Illinois factory law. And this one deals with child labor as well. Children under the age of 14 could not be employed in any manufacturing establishment, would get you credit. Factory or workshop in the state, affidavits must be signed for children between the ages of 14 and 16 or before they could be employed. Certificates of physical health made to be demanded by inspectors. Any of those would get you full credit. So if you haven't done it already, make sure you do the rest of the documents. So when you watch tomorrow's video, or it might be the day after tomorrow, so I haven't become a pro at these videos yet, but hopefully this is working. Do the rest of the documents. That way, when we go over them, you're checking your work rather than hearing it for the first time. All right, I hope you guys are doing great out there. Look for these videos. I know not all of you have internet capability. And I apologize for that. I know that Mr. Peavy is working on trying to get some hotspots out to people to give them access to the internet. Unfortunately, this is the way we're going to do things for at least the near future. Hopefully this doesn't last too long, but if it does, we'll probably have to look at maybe even starting to do new information as we work toward getting ready for the Regents exam. As of right now, New York State's planning on still having the Regents. If that changes, I will let you know. But be well. Practice social distancing out there, meaning don't go hang out with your friends and have parties. Not that you guys would, but skip that stuff for now. Spend time at home. Focus on your family, your immediate family. Definitely stay away from grandma and grandpa for a while until we get this thing beat. I miss you guys. I'd much rather be performing this or doing this in the classroom, but it is what it is. Now Mr. Merck is becoming some famous YouTuber, and I know some of you guys thought even Mr. Merck was that old dog that you couldn't teach new tricks to, but I don't know. I'm starting to figure this YouTube thing out. We'll see. Hopefully I get better and I can start writing more, but I miss you guys, and I can't even spell on here, but trying to say the end. I'll see you guys soon. Be good.